everyone, welcome back. This is Denise, and today I am going to do a grid painting because I don't know, between the grid paintings and the color palette paintings in our journal, I am just obsessed and having fun. So you just got to ride these waves of inspiration when they hit. And I thought I would work with a color palette out of Color Cube Volume 1. I just picked one randomly and thought, ooh, okay, that one's fun. I like that this has the orange and the teal kind of color palette in it. I'm going to consider this color down here to be gold. This to be like a gray maybe, because otherwise it's kind of a pukey yellow, so we're gonna maybe consider that gold. So I'm gonna focus, I'm gonna play in my Oceans paint watercolors. These are the handmade watercolors out of Hawaii, and I don't pull them out enough, and randomly every time I do, somebody wants to know why they're so expensive, because if you buy a big set in the case, they are a little bit pricey, but if you price out like the individual colors, they're no more pricey than the Blick paints or the Masha's watercolors. So it just is the quantity in these bigger sets that adds up, but they are super reasonable actually, considering they're handmade in Hawaii. And I love them, and the colors are different than my Masha's watercolors. These are very vibrant. They don't granulate in quite the same way. It's a completely different look, which I love. And I'm kind of thinking, and I actually did a color palette for that set, and I've ordered a new set of Masha's watercolors because I didn't realize she had more than the 36 colors. I can't wait to get that. So when I get that, I'll actually swatch them out, kind of like this, because I swatched this set out and then laminated it and then stuck it right in the top of that container. So now I actually took the time to swatch that one out and can see the colors, and we can kind of pick out some of these. So I really like this yellow ochre, and I kind of like this deep yellow. It's bright and a little bit vibrant there. I like the raw sienna. Come down here, I love the silt. I'm kind of feeling maybe silt and raw sienna for these two colors. What do you think? I kind of feel like those two could be right in there. And then, or I could do raw sienna and yellow ochre, because that could be those two colors right there, but I think they'll be kind of close, but I may do them anyway. With the silt, maybe this pewter or this overcast, maybe the overcast. So the overcast and those and the silt, and then gold. So let's just see what we can get. Okay, I feel like that's our color palette, so there we go. All right, so I'm just gonna activate those, and they're still kind of full because I don't know, I haven't picked them up in a while, so just gonna go and play. And I've already just kind of loosely gridded off our paper. I'm using a 9x12 piece of Hahnemühle paper, 100% cotton, because I like these grids on this size paper, and then I like the bigger ones on the Bauhong paper when we go a little bigger. So let's just dive in. Look how pretty that color is. And then I'm gonna reserve the right always to add to this as we're going. If I get inspired to add another color, I reserve the right to do that. I don't have to stick completely to a color palette. It's just getting me started. And sometimes I get inspired to veer off of my palettes, and sometimes I don't. So we'll just see where the inspiration leads us and what we can paint today. And this is kind of a really pretty, kind of a smoky blue. So almost like our graphite blues. Ooh, we should do one of these in the graphite colors. I'm definitely feeling smoky with these. And I've just pulled out my 1/2" oval wash brush by Princeton Neptune. That's what I'm using here. Okay, I like that. Let's come up here to the raw sienna. I don't think I activated raw sienna. I think I activated deep yellow. Oh well. Which that bright yellow could be a really pretty color to sprinkle in as a surprise. Like I might be feeling that. I don't know. See, this is why I start with a color palette though, because I go off the rails with colors. I like so many things, and I'm like, oh, what about this one? I like this one, whether it really went in with what I was doing or not. I had a 1920s bungalow in Birmingham years ago. When I worked for Home Depot, they moved me over there. I was a manager with Home Depot years ago, and they moved me over there in their management moving program. And that little bungalow, I painted every room in that house a different color every year, because we were not rich at all, and I was very low paid as a manager because I was a girl. And I guess they paid girls less 25 years ago. And so paint was an easy, cheap way to change up the house, because I have a degree in interior design, so it's an easy way to change up the house without affording to be able to buy like new furniture and stuff. So yeah, I liked all the colors. And there for about 5 years, every room of the house got painted every year a different color, just cause I liked experimenting. Now my house is mostly that grayish color that you see in new houses, because I like gray also, but I feel like with gray it kind of leaves me open for creativity. Like, it doesn't fill my mind with so much stuff that then I'm kind of overwhelmed, and it leaves the space for all the colors to show up here in like my art and my art room. So I like some of the stuff around me to be neutral. At least I have up until now, but lately I've been looking around thinking, my studio here is white because it originally was for photos, and now I don't do photos hardly ever at all in here. This gray just kind of blends right in, not in a good way. It's basically the same or too close to that. So yeah, but now I don't have to have it for photos, and I'm like, oh, I'm ready to paint this room, or maybe even hang some wallpaper, in which I'm very anti-wallpaper and have been for like a very long time. But now I'm thinking maybe I'd like wallpaper. Okay, I'm kind of almost feeling like we're going to go a little off the rail now. Maybe I like, ooh, this foliage. I want like a green in there, so let's pick up the foliage. Yeah, so now, and let me tell you, moving the studio stuff around to paint in here, because this is the only white walls I've had in my house in like 30 years, literally. Every wall in my house has always been painted a color. And this room, I painted white. And now I don't need it for photo props and photo setups and stuff. And I'm like, I'm about ready to like move everything out, paint the walls, decorate in here in all the colors, maybe even like start repainting in the house all the colors, because I don't know, I feel like I'm out of my neutral phase now, and now I want to look at all the colors again. Isn't it funny how different stages of life you just you get into different moods and stuff, and I feel like you can tell a lot by people's environments and how they decorate and what they surround themselves with. I get a really good feel and view of people by their environment. Probably why I did design for so long, because interiors fascinate me, and personality traits that it kind of reveals. Yeah, I feel like, but see, the problem with the studio is this gigantic heavy cabinet that sits over here that's full of art supplies. It probably weighs 2,000 pounds, and I'm not quite sure how I would move that, at least away from the wall enough. And let me tell you the other problem, and you should go watch a studio tour if you don't know what I'm pointing at, because I show you in detail everything that's in the studio. With that one over there, the bookcases, the 3 sets of bookcases that are jam-packed, I'd also have to move that. And so then I'm like, oh, would I want to move all that? Because every year I get the bug to redecorate something, and usually it's something in the studio, rearrange the studio for however it is that we're gonna use the studio for the year going forward. And here it is, middle of the year. So it's been a while since I've done any redecorating in here, and I'm just I'm feeling the itch. I don't know. Everything's so heavy. I don't know. Might just have to suffer with it being white, but this is the only white room I've had. Well, since I was probably a kid, my mom had white in her house, because I just don't do white. walls. And now I want the walls to be a rainbow with maybe some kind of mural or cool hand-painted wallpaper, something that would be so obnoxiously expensive that I'd feel like I could never take it down. But I'm just kind of like, see some of these magazines, these home magazines, and I'm like, ooh, look how beautiful that is. I'm going to do some art making while this is still drying with my Blackwing matte pencil. Just riding some inspiration here, just think I like it. Okay, that's very wet because it is not as vivid as it would be if it were dry. Yeah, anybody else get the bug to rearrange, decorate, repaint every year, every few years like I do? I mean, it was good that I did interior design in college because I really did enjoy that and make a career out of that up until I started this creative business. So it definitely was a subject that I enjoyed until I was burned out. And now I enjoy this, and I'm glad I took a different direction. Still in a creative field, but let me tell you, design's not really creative. It's just math. How much stuff can you put on what size areas? I feel like this needs like a little surprise of something. I don't know what that is. Let's let this dry and I'll be right back. Alright, we are a little bit drier now. These watercolors are a little bit more like traditional watercolors. They're very translucent. And with, like, say, the Masha's watercolors, I pick up a ton of pigment. And these pick up a little bit less than those. These are a little more in the traditional colors. And I think I'm going to pull out my Faber-Castell polychroma pencils because I like these. They're oil based, I think. They're really smooth. And see if I can get the case open. There we go. Maybe we'll just pick some of these out to maybe do some art making. And this has several rows in it. I think I want to be in that row. Let's see if I can not knock all those pencils in the floor. Which I am prone to do. The worst. Okay, let's just see. I'm feeling like maybe some art making. And it'll be fun having some colors. And look how smooth these just glide right on here. Yeah, the polychroma pencils are my favorite colored pencils for art making and drawing and doing fun stuff. It's a little bit wet. I can feel it. But that's okay. Because they're, I don't know, they just put down color in a way that I'm like, ooh, I like that. Could let this dry a little bit longer. Ooh, it's really wet up there, or I grabbed something. Maybe we'll just dry this the rest of the way. I don't usually dry watercolors. I kind of let them do their thing. But if you get to the very end on something like this and you're like, ooh, mostly dry, then I'm like, okay, they've probably already done all the mixing and blooming and all the fun stuff that the watercolor's gonna do. And then if you need to like dry it, then I'm like, okay. So what color was that? That was 168. Earth green yellowish. I like this green gold. Let's see what we got here. It's kind of this other color in here. This is terracotta, 186. Just kind of looking and thinking here. let's see what else we got. Those were fun. I like those for mark making with color. It's a real smooth draw when you're drawing with them. Those are fun. Those just kind of live in the cabinet that sits next to me. And I think now I got this pretty gray in the Posca. So definitely let's do some paint marks. Oh yeah, I like that. I like how this orange gives it a crazy pop, and in the pieces that I've used this orange in, I have loved it. Posca, what color are you? Bright yellow. Okay, I'm calling it orange, but they're calling it bright yellow. But that color really pops off of anything that I've put it on top of, and I love it. It gives that pop of something where I'm like, it needs something. This does it. This is giving me that little pop of wow. Especially if you put it on top of a blue, or like I'm going right here on a gray. Nice. Nice. I love it. Okay, yellow for the win, so it looks orange to me. And now I'm gonna do the gold, I think. Should we do? Or we could mix up and do some crazy silver. Because I did show you my silver trick yesterday, and that worked out good, but I need to do it with a stencil rather than... I think I'm gonna do gold. I like the gold. That's what I had in my mind when we saw this. Anyway, this is my gold mica ink in a fine line bottle. This one. And I just use a pipette to put that in the bottle. Makes it super easy. And then just to kind of get us started, I like to kind of start off on the side, hold the bottle kind of parallel to the paper, because then you get more control. And then you can do little dots and stuff after you got that control. But I'm kind of feeling like maybe some yummy just mark making and running into the edge of the tape. But just fun. Something that will shimmer. And then we'll go back and do maybe some gold dots in here. And if you hold that bottle almost to the edge there, like to the parallel with the paper, you get way more control over where you can dot stuff and where your lines can go. Or you can use a dip pen, because you know I love my dip pen. Which I hadn't had the dip pen out in a long time. We should get the dip pen back out. I just go through little phases where I like this and sometimes I like that, and I'll just do a whole bunch of work with whatever tools or art styles or compositions that I love. We'll do that for a while. Then I'll take a little break, and then I'll come back, and then I have totally different things that inspire me, and we'll go down different little rabbit holes, and I love that. That's what's so fun about creating. Just follow the rabbit down the hole until you're done with it. Just play and play and play until you're ready to do the next thing. These will just be fun with that little bit of gold line in it. I like that. Just a little sparkle when the light hits it. I love that. I am almost thinking now that maybe, now that we got that, maybe I do want a tiny bit of stencil work in gold, but I do like these little fine lines. Okay, that's a good choice. Good choice. Good choice. All right, let's just get the paste out. I'm just shaking it up there a little bit. Let me get my palette paper over here. This is my Jack Richens gold gray palette paper called Gray Matters. I love it. Any disposable palette paper is fine. You could even use whatever it is your preferred thing is, but I always have somebody ask me what this is. Okay, so I'm kind of thinking let's look at the joggles. I gotta be careful here because I'm good about smearing everything. I like the little itty bitty stencils that Joggles does, but artist trading card stencils are good. Ooh, what about that thing? Maybe not. I love Joggles. These are all great big stencils. Maybe I'll pull the Stencil Girl stencils out. Yeah, let's do that. These are all giant ones. Let's pull out the littler ones. And I am holding the book up. I'm trying not to squish whatever we've already done there. Ooh, what about these? Do we like squares? Ooh, what about these? Ooh, I'm kind of feeling these. I like this one. This one is S376 Shaw, but I like how it's little dash marks. I like the squares, but let's see what else do we got in here. Ooh, I love this one. This one's like corrugated cardboard. It's my favorite one. I even like it in the great big Joggles one. This one's S227 MAYNE, Maine. Okay, let's do those. I like these because this one feels a little more organic, so I'm not feeling like damask stencil. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, I'm really thinking this one. Let's just see. Ink blending brush. You know, I put all these supplies on my favorite supply list and in my Amazon shop, so definitely check out all my favorites there. I'll link that page for you on my website. I'll link that below the video for you. Ooh, yes, yes, yes. Okay, good choice. This one's a good one. Yes, I love this. So corrugated cardboard look, and you can get this look with some corrugated cardboard if you wanted to save some of that, save some packaging that you get. Save all the packaging, really, because you can do all kinds of amazing stuff with packaging. Okay, I love that one. Whoa, let's do this on a couple because I feel it. Ooh, fun. It's just very, very slight, just a little bit, a little delight. That one was not straight, but that's okay. Use the rest of this up we got out there. Oh, yeah. Okay. These are cool. These are cool. Completely different than any others that we've done, but still super cool. Okay, I like those. Those are good. Good choice. Haha! Okay, I think I'm there. I feel like we are there. So let's peel the tape and see what we got today. Completely different than our other pieces. This tape is a little extra sticky, so I just heated up. Stickier than my regular painter's tape, this 1/2" one, but I like the size because it's perfect for a grid painting. Alright, well, maybe I should keep it out long enough to make sure I get these off. Look at these. These are soft and pretty and rather delightful. Kind of unexpected, which was what I was hoping for today. Something unexpected and different than the other pieces I've done. Again, playing with supplies that maybe you don't pull out that often. Where did that come from on my thumb? Before I get that on my painting. Oh my goodness, must have been the top of that tape where I had the gray that I was getting started Oh, you gotta be careful with stuff like that. You'll end up getting paint on your piece where you didn't expect it. Look how delightful this is. And look how good we did with our color palette. It's a little bit more of a lighter translucent shades of those, but I think it's perfect. We did a good job today. Look at these. And then we'll come up and we'll do a little bit of shine in the light. Oh, look at that. Oh, these are so delightful. All right, this was good. This was a good paint day. I enjoyed experimenting with some watercolors I don't normally do. I love doing pieces like this because if you've got something that's precious and you don't want to waste it, little pieces are a good way to explore without using too much of it, so that's pretty cool. Hope you enjoyed painting with me today, and I'll see you guys next time.